Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Oh, it's Wednesday, so it's my bad joke day, and once again, I'm only making fun of the Jewish tradition to try to show everybody every ethnicity, every culture has its own sense of humor. Make fun of yourself. Don't be so uptight. Use the humor to lighten your load. Anyway, this guy goes to his rabbi, says, Rabbi, you got to help me. My wife is trying to poison me. He says, are you kidding me? You've been married for so long. Why would you say that? I'm saying, you don't realize this. I'm getting nuts. I don't know what to do with myself. All right, listen, I'll speak to your wife. No problem. So the rabbi calls the wife in. They have a little discussion. And then afterwards, the guy calls the guy back in. So, Rabbi, what do you think? I think you should take the poison. Ooh, can I get a rim shot on that one? All right, here we go. So for my friends who are doing the journaling, and again, if it's not just writing, then I call it elevate the conversation. Bring it up with your friends. Don't be afraid. Religion, politics, money. Consciousness could be another trigger subject, isn't it? How do you change the desert of loneliness into the garden of solitude? Everybody needs a private space to lick their wounds, to hole up, to learn their riff. I'll know my song well before I start singing, as Dylan says. Where do you do that? You got to practice behind the scenes. But what's the difference between being lonely and making it a garden of solitude, so you make the most out of your alone time? You let me know what's going on in your life. I'll be glad to tell you what's going on in mine. All right, now my teacher, B.K. Sanger, says to neither be caught in the excesses of the world nor to turn your back on them. That is the way to live fully. So you have to cultivate the positive, abjure the negative, and let your ethics stem from the core of your being as it radiates outward. Sounds simple. Now, my Buddhist teachers, remember, there's no deity in Buddhism. Buddha is not just a god, he's the awakened one. Basically, they say trust your own intuition, your own intelligence, rather than other people's messages. Yes, it's important to find a spiritual friend or a companion in virtue who can be like a supervisor and direct your potential and talents, no doubt it. We all need supervision to help us deal with the mistakes of our own inexperience. But when you do that, as Rinpoche would say, let your spiritual soil be fertilized by the rotting manure of your own neurosis. Who uses language like that? Chogyam Trungpa does. Let your spiritual soil be fertilized by the rotting manure of your own neuroses. You got to make all your gunk work for you and turn it into growth. Now, Clarissa Pinkola Estes, my cantadora and Jungian psychologist who does the wonderful work on female initiation tales, helps us with understanding what are the qualities of enduring relationships. I'm really behind staying together with good friends, with spouses, with kids, with neighbors on the block. How do you make them endure? Well, first way is laugh yourself. Find out what tickles your funny bone and then make other people laugh. And in arguments, forgive easily, maintain loyalty, keep listening to each other. It's part of your gesture of goodwill to constantly set aside differences so the unity or the harmony between us, that's what's most important. That's what keeps relationships going. And then, of course, a mature understanding that nobody can completely, absolutely satisfy you. Never. And you know this. It's the hoax of fulfillment. It's deceived. We're all deceived by a mirage of how we want it to be, how we would like it to be, how we think it should be. But of course, it's never as good as you hope for. Doesn't mean it can't be good, but you have to make it flow from you and not the other person. But still, the other person is to be cherished and not blamed for the fact that they can't do that to you, for you. Okay. Now, a lot of people listen to me at different age and different stages. And so for my older friends out there and all my buddies in Florida, my rabbi is always reminding me to regard dying as a stage of growth and initiation changes your whole focus. You're not going to abdicate the management of your old age and your decline into death and give it just to doctors, to scientists, to gerontologists. The benefit of being prepared, to the extent that one can, because you never know when death will happen, far exceeds the claims of the best life-saving plans, and insurance policies. They're not going to help you. And thinking about this won't infect you with spiritual cooties, as if they will hasten the inevitable end. No, it'll make everything look so precious, so beautiful, so sacred, that we feel more strongly the impulse to love everyone and everything to the extent that we can. So remember, whatever you give your attention to is going to become your reality. There's no topping out here. It'll continue to get better. There's no place to reach where there is no more for you. So just don't accept a cloudy day as permanent climate. Sunshine never ceases, though it's obscured for a moment. So raise your consciousness above the level of where the difficulty seems to be. And remember, from the affirmation masters, they say the greatest mistake we make is trying to deal with the problems, the difficulties, with material stages first, instead of going directly to spirit first. So go directly to spirit. Have a great day.